Hi, and welcome to West Coast Sports Debacle. Today we have here David Locke. Over here, he's going to be our concentration in football and baseball? Baseball, all right. And up next, we have Anthony Miller. He's going to be our concentration in, football and basketball?
Yep.
All right. And then, of course, we have the hostess with the mostest over there. We have Jeremiah Hamilton. He is going to be our concentration in baseball and football. Tonight we have for favorite sports movies, because everyone's got to have one of those, right? And then we have our NFC West talk. So we are going to be going in depth into all of the trades happening in basketball this season. And the topic that is on everybody's minds, Raptors or Lakers, who is going to take that title or who is going to last better in the playoffs? Who knows? And last but not least, since we just had the All-Star game for MLB, we are going to be talking about all the West Coast teams and what their standings are and opinions. And of course, like and subscribe to Summit Studios. And here we go. Guys, let's first up, favorite sports movie, all time.
Well, to me, this is a kind of a tough question because for me, you got, great movies for different reasons. You look at Rudy for inspirational. You look at Invincible, inspirational. But to me, my favorite all-time sports movie is The Program. It's got James Caan. It's a college football movie. To me, that is what college football is all about. It gets me hyped every time I watch it.
You dug deep for that one.
Yeah,
real deep.
Deep cuts on that one.
The Program.
It's impressive. You guys don't like The Program?
I mean, it's a great movie, but that was deep.
Yeah.
That was a real deep,
Like, you could have gone with all kinds of different movies, but you went with the deepest movie cut.
I almost went with Any Given Sunday, but I was like, no, The Program.
That would have been respectable.
Like, you took deep.
I love The Program. What you got, Anthony?
I'm gonna have to say Remember the Titans.
Okay.
That is a classic. That is a great movie.
That
agrees with you.
Yeah, that one goes into the racism and how we can all come together and still be united and come out on top.
Not to mention the great soundtrack.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Fair enough.
You know what I gotta say about every sports movie is that the soundtracks are always good.
That is
Friday
fair.
Night Lights.
Oh,
Great soundtrack.
Great movie too.
Yeah.
But Billy Bob did not make my cut, sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. No. I mean, we could always replace. We can replace Coach from the television show.
That was a great show.
Kyle Chandler. We can replace Billy Bob with Kyle Chandler from the TV show Friday Night Lights. I think we would have
It was the same coach's wife in both movies.
Yes, Connie Nielsen.
Because the TV show was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I kind of had to stop watching though.
It became more like a drama. Than
It wasn't about the sports anymore.
As soon as it left football, that's kind of when I wanted to watch real football, and that became drama over the last year.
The best part about that show is that it came out when we were in high school playing football.
Yeah.
So it's like, after the game, I go and watch the show after the non-drinking parties.
Ironically, the movie Friday Night Lights, the captains from my sophomore year team were the exact same numbers as
Really?
Friday Night Lights.
That's pretty cool.
Literally 26, 4, 45, and what was that, 20. They were all the same numbers.
Nice.
And I was like, we always talked about that. That was like our one relation to that movie. But honestly, out of sports movies, I know everybody's probably going to laugh at me, but The Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks is a good movie, though.
Which one?
The first
one.
The main classic
The
one.
second one's
The
better.
second one's good too because the Bash Brothers, yes.
Yeah.
But only because of the Bash Brothers. But the first one is like a classic because it's like Emilio being Emilio at his finest.
Yeah.
Yes.
All you gotta say is Emilio.
Yes. Emilio. I think he's having a lot of fun saying Emilio.
Yeah, and Goldberg too.
Goldberg. Oh, man.
What's that smell?
Goldberg.
It's like an instant classic, so you can't go away from Mighty Ducks.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all these sports movies, I am surprised none of you have said Sandlot.
I know.
Oh.
It was a tough choice. I couldn't
That
make
is
the decision between the two. Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Man.
Benny.
I mean, I'm in the room surrounded by men, but for all us girls out there know the real reason why I watched that movie was Benny, and it wasn't because he was really fast. That was most every girl I knew. That was her
true.
first crush.
I
Like
even-
Benny the Jet Rodriguez was
Okay.
it.
Rude awakening.
Yeah, you thought all of us girls were sitting there watching Sandlot because it was fun? Like
No, I thought that you guys were like laughing at the s'mores joke.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
what's her
great,
name?
too.
What was Winnie Pepper?
No, Winnie
Oh,
Pepper.
Wendy! You guys had Wendy Peppercorn, and we had Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Is it just me, or was the coolest part of the movie was when they're being creative about how to get the ball back? Like with,
Yeah.
with that little robot thing.
Well, that was montage scene at its finest. Too.
Yeah.
Like right after Rocky, they had to come up with a better movie with montage, and so that was it. That was another movie that I was really like teetering on was Rocky, and I was thinking Rocky 2, not
The first one.
Yeah,
You mean the one that he
third
actually
one.
won the fight?
Yeah, no, when Mr. T kicks his butt, or the Russian beats him up all fight long, and then he gets a lucky punch.
If he dies,
Yeah.
If he does.
I mean, to be fair, I enjoyed Creed more than I enjoyed.
You know what?
I
That
haven't
was
seen
really
that
good.
That
Creed is really good.
It is
The way it ties everything
Thing together,
up, too,
yeah.
That was what I liked.
It was a
about
great. It was a great boxing movie.
I never saw it. The early reports I got from it wasn't very good, so I was like, eh.
Yeah.
No,
But
A
I'll-
lot.
I'll
It,
check
it
it out.
But
takes.
they said that about a lot of movies, and then it ends up being great, and then
Yeah.
they'll say how good a movie is
Years
Last
later.
Jedi, and then they'll end up telling, and then it ends up just being crap.
I
Like,
will
it's-
debate you on Last Jedi for an hour and a half.
Yeah, and you'll lose. The
Oh,
internet
guys,
agrees.
come
It stands
on.
corrected.
All
Okay,
right.
so let's
We're gonna round
squash
this.
that and move on.
Favorite
to-
sports movies, you know, honorary mention for Sandlot, and my personal. favorite
That's a
sports
fair
movie.
honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to basketball. NFC West, guys.
Basketball, NFC West.
That is that football.
But thank you. Thank
I
you.
know, I did try,
That was
didn't I?
fun.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but
You
NFC
were
West for
convincing.
football. I wasn't
You
I?
almost got me sold. I was like, wait.
That was actually a trick question. But NFC West for football, excuse me, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
49ers.
49ers, that's what I'm forgetting.
49ers.
No wonder you forgot about him because it's
Oh
49ers.
man,
Yeah.
they've been
Wrong side of the
struggling.
bed.
That's what
Struggling.
I think.
Oh man.
NFC West has been struggling for a while. I mean, for 5-6 years there was always an NFC West team in the playoffs or maybe it's the Super Bowl, and now West Coast is not looking like the West Coast in football right now. So, David,
I've said it before on the channel, and I think he's gonna agree with me. I think the best team in all of football on paper is the Rams. I think that they're gonna have a tough fight between them and the Vikings, them and New Orleans, the Eagles. But I think that they're the best team in the NFC. The winner of the NFC is probably going to win the Super Bowl over the Patriots because it's going to be the Patriots. But that's my pick for coming out of the West.
That's what you think.
What are your thoughts, man?
Well, as a biased opinion,
unbiased opinion.
Just a little. Just a little.
but on paper the Rams are the better team. It's whether they perform and prove that. They made some money moves over the offseason.
This season,
picking
they.
up Talib
Oh, yeah.
and Peters.
Oh yeah.
How they got Ndamukong Suh for a year, I don't know. And we stole Peters, for nothing.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the
And
Eagles.
everybody's worried about the attitude and all that nonsense, but McVay's going to calm them down and bring them together. And
I feel like they're a very young team, and they have, at least in the last season, from what I remember from all the games, like they pulled themselves together and they showed that they are a team to be reckoned with.
yeah,
Especially after their first season,
in
like
the
their
playoff
first season
game
was a little
against
rocky.
Atlanta, they have a young team. Darryl Cooper kind of dropped the ball, literally. But that's okay. They're going to bounce back. And for anybody else, like Garoppolo's great, and he sat behind Brady for so long. But who's going to throw the ball to?
Yeah.
That was my question too with that team specifically. Is the Seahawks are declining, but they still are
The Seahawks
always
are
like.
nobody.
I almost feel like they're the sleeping like giant in the group though, because their defense has so much upside all the time, anyways.
Mhm.
And Russell Wilson is just kind of so random that you're never really going to expect what he's going to do in
Right.
the season. The guy could throw for 4,000 yards this season and rush for 1,000 yards, and we'd be completely mind blown by the guy.
But
Like,
it's possible.
It's possible,
Yeah, right.
and that's what's scary about the guy.
But
And so
They
when
are
I look at
definitely
the
black
division,
sheep.
and by the way, I did do a Rams cap video talking about the whole situation, and we did talk. Me and David have touched on this several times about the attitude scenario. But there's a lot of upsides to the team of the Rams. I do agree that they're the top team 49ers, I'm going to put in second still. Even after a lot of the training camp rumors and everything, I still want to put them there because they can run the ball and Garoppolo's just going to find play action. So
I disagree. I think Arizona should go in that second spot. I think a healthy David Johnson, and then I think who's the go for quarterback?
It's Sam Bradford.
They got Sam Bradford, and then they drafted Josh Rosen.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think that they're going to be so successful. Is that Sam Bradford is kind of like up and down. He gets hurt, and you put Josh Rosen in there. Even with David Johnson there, he's still coming off of an injury. We don't know what David Johnson we're going to see.
Yeah, but you're talking about a broken hand. That's not like an ACL tear or anything like that.
No, but it's a mental attitude too. Like if he gets
we saw the same mental attitude with Julio Jones. The way he messed up his hand, and those things affect you when you're on the field. Your mind is not the same way. You're going to be leaning a little bit away.
I think that's two different perspectives though, because you're talking about a receiver and a running back.
But running back has to catch the ball too.
Yeah, David Johnson is known to catch the ball pretty often.
I don't think it's going to affect him. I think he's going to come back and be a top 5 running back.
Well, let me get your stance on the Aaron Donald situation as our first official Rams fan on our team or on our show.
Well, it's our team too, I guess.
Well, yeah, our team. We are a team. But I read an article where it was a couple days ago, and Aaron Donald basically said, "I will not step on the field," and he wasn't referring to practice or a game until he gets paid. He's taken that firm stance of I don't care. What do you think of that?
So today was his last day to show up to camp to become
An
unrestricted free agent. But to his fault, that's bad news for him. That's more ammo for the Rams. For him not showing up. At the end of the day, they're going to pay him. The Rams are going to pay him. There's no way they're going to let him go. With the team that they built up and have that front three with him, Brockers, and Dominican Sue, they're not going to let him go. They're going to pay him. They're not going to pay him $20 million that he wants. He's not going to get QB money, but I think he will be the highest paid defensive player in the league, maybe the $17 million name.
I'll say this though, this comes back to attitudes. How does those attitudes, we're seeing a lot of attitude talk coming out of the Rams camp and just in general on the internet and things like that. But what about, can you compare that to the same kind of attitude that people were giving the Seahawks a couple years ago, saying that they had a bad attitude just in general, like they just were bad, unsportsmanlike? A lot of those things come from the fact that, hey, like as much crap as a lot of people wanted to talk about the Seahawks, they were out there getting it done. Like there was a reason for the attitude, a little reason for that cockiness, and for the Rams to have this, issue with the attitude, it could be foretelling of things to come this season.
Well, to kind of add to that, you look at, to the credit of the Rams defense this year and Seattle's defense that year, typically you want that bad attitude, aggressiveness on defense. It's not like it's on the offense where everyone has to be on sync.
Cohesive, yeah.
Exactly. On defense, you're basically doing your own thing. You got your zone, you got your man, you're rushing the passer, whatever you're doing. It's not like you got to get your timing down with your quarterback or work in connection with the other linemen.
And with Seattle, Marshawn Lynch and all those guys were more just cocky, not necessarily an attitude. They were just arrogant. Whereas the Dominican Sue, who put his cleat in place with no helmet.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters will, rip your chain off and try to fight you in the field. Stuff like that,
Oh, no, that's a key point.
Well, we got him too. So.
Yeah. But I wanted to clarify for the sports fans out there, just for that reason.
Peters was just going to get the flag from the referee and chuck it at him.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's the one who threw it up in the air.
That's right.
But I think they're going to set a good example for these young players. I think McVay's going to round them up. Look what McVay did in 1 year with the Rams. They went from a nobody team to a first-round playoff team.
That's fair.
And they were the highest scoring team in the
defense
NFL.
of that, though, they were playing the weaker end of the division because they had a weaker record before the season. So they usually played 4s, 3s, the back ends of those divisions. So a high upside for one season. It's like the Raiders a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. They got that easy schedule, and they honed through it and made it look so easy, and then Carr got hurt, and it kind of ended their season. But basically with the same thing is the Rams, like the roster improvements and everything, they're playing a much tougher competition.
Maybe so, but if you think about last year, they came up with a victory against New Orleans, and they came real close to the
Did they
the
have
Philly.
Aaron Donald, though, they played?
They did.
And are they going to have him? soon. That's
They
the
will.
biggest question.
That is a big question mark
Yeah.
for
They will.
next year.
They will have Donald. Donald will play. When he plays, I don't know, but he will be on board with the Rams, and I think it'll happen before week 1.
Do you think it's possible that they actually just say, you know what, if you want to sit out this year, that's fine, but then we're just going to franchise tag you and stick you for 2 years, and then at that point, if you want to sit out 2 years, good luck getting signed.
And that's the possibility because they are going to franchise tag him, regardless of what he wants to do. But
That's just smart money. That's
Yeah.
just
They forked
that's
out
smart
so
management.
much money to the rest of the
they're
offense.
going to franchise tag him, and if Aaron Donald don't play, we'll win without Aaron Donald.
That's possible.
Oh,
We'll
that's
win
Rams
with
fans. They're looking very
And-
optimistic this year.
Yeah, they are.
And if Aaron Donald watches us win from the sideline, then he'll regret that next season.
That's true.
That's very true.
I gotta agree with that one.
He'll lose a lot of leverage if they actually do win without him. For sure.
Yeah,
That's
for
very
sure.
true.
So he's really taking a gamble, and does he make an impact? Absolutely. You know, he's the Von Miller for the Rams, but it's going to be his last numbers either way.
It's fair.
I know it was good getting Dominican to replace him.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Angie,
Yes.
fire away on our next topic.
All right. Next topic coming up. Here we are. Raptors or the Lakers? Who is it going to be? Who's going to be the better team, or who's going to come out on top altogether? David?
You're about to get squashed already. So
I'm glad you're going
basically,
first.
I'm going to explain this real quick. This is our squash segment for everybody at home. And basically, you get a chance to say your piece about this. And if it starts sounding bland and it's not going anywhere, Angie's going to squash it.
Yeah.
And just keep it going. Because
All right. Raptors are a better team. LeBron is a monster. He's the best basketball player on the planet right now. Not of all time, just right now. With that
Nice
being
disclaimer.
With that being said, the Raptors are more of a sound team. They got, they just traded for Kawhi. They got
Lowry.
Mm-hmm. They got Ibaka. They got Valanciunas. They got solid pieces all the way around. Where with LeBron, you know, they've got him, but then they're already talking about, you know, we were talking about it before the show started, on whether or not the Lakers might even trade for Kawhi. You know, you were talking about trading, was it Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, and I think that would be a good trade.
Right.
But I think just the point that the Lakers need to make that extra piece to come to LA to compete with these other teams clearly shows that they're not as good as Toronto, who was the number 1 seed last year and is going to be the number 1 seed again this year because LeBron left Cleveland. So who else is going to beat him? Boston? Give me a break.
Fair enough.
All right. Anthony?
Oh man, that's a tough one. But I think the Raptors come out with a better record than the Lakers. I think they come out with a better record. I think LeBron makes all those young guys a heck of a lot better because with the Lakers you got guys like Kuzma and guys like Ball who are going to be the next big thing. I think Kuzma's going to be the next big player. He just needs an opportunity to prove that, and I think someone like LeBron can put him in a situation where he can become that player. And if you guys forget about Rajon Rondo, if Rajon Rondo plays like Rajon Rondo, that team with LeBron is gonna be pretty sick.
He's playoff
It's gonna
contender
be
for
crazy.
sure.
And you know, when they both go to the playoffs, because I think both these teams go to the playoffs, I think the Lakers go farther. You know, if you look at the Raptors' track record, they do so well. They do go number 1 seed and all that stuff. And then what happens?
They do have a record
They
for
can't close.
not.
They can't close.
They're not closing. They're not making it all the
and
way.
I think Lakers come out this year, and I think Rajon Rondo is a different player. I think Kuzma is a better player. LeBron is going to be LeBron, and Ball is going to be Ball. And I think Ball is going to be better this year with LeBron because he's got some direction. He's got some veteran advice of what to do in the scheme. And then the Lakers' offense is going to be completely different. It's not going to be the same offense coming with LeBron. LeBron, that offense is going to be centered around LeBron, and that's fine because that's going to open up opportunities for those younger players who have skill and have talent, and they're going to display it this year.
I can agree with that. I feel like
I
the one thing
disagree
Lakers
with you
have been
on
missing.
Lonzo, but that's my one thing that I'm going to disagree with you on. Lonzo's the only one I don't think is going to get better with this. I do agree with you. Lakers are going to be the better of the two teams. I do agree with you at the same time that the Raptors will probably have the better record during regular season. They're playing the East. Who's in the East? There's nobody.
Nobody
you have
anymore.
Kawhi versus the East.
There's a reason we're called the West Coast Sports
I
Debacle.
know, but that's the reason why I'm going to be talking about the Lakers from this point on out. I just want to clarify your Max Kellerman type answer right there by picking the Raptors. What a joke that is. You can't even pick them as the better team in this one. LeBron. All right, so Kawhi.
That's like talking about the Patriots.
Yeah.
Who are they gonna play?
In the Super Bowl.
I mean,
Ingram, LeBron James, Josh Hart still on the team, JaVale McGee getting signed, Kyle Kuzma,
Lance Stevenson,
Rajon Rondo. You have all those players, and this is the best defensive team in basketball, in my opinion, at this point. And you don't even have to get on the court.
That is
You
a
don't
bold
have to get on the court
statement.
for this one. That's the best part. You don't even have to get on the court because they've already proven it across the board. Rajon Rondo can shut out 90% of the players in the league at the point guard position. Maybe Steph Curry is the only one who's going to really teach him a lesson, or Russell Westbrook. You can't literally say that anybody's going to beat Rajon Rondo every night, week in, week out, besides those two players. Yes, they're both in the West. But now you have LeBron to pick up the scoring where Rajon can't. And you also have guys like Kyle Kuzma that you mentioned.
I'm a Kuzma believer. I think he's the next big thing.
I think he was really good, and his 3-ball shooting was actually surprisingly good for a guy who can get there and dunk the ball like he can. So,
and I think adding Michael Beasley, that's like when you're talking about the Rams and the attitude area and all that stuff. But you need someone like that.
But in basketball, an attitude can change everything. Look at the Pistons.
Yes.
Look at the Pistons that punked that Lakers team that was so dang good in the 90s. They punked them. They physically went out there and beat them down. And that's what I can see happen even to the Warriors. That's why I think that the Lakers have championship material this year. So we could even see this as a finals, in my opinion, because that's why I wanted this to even be a topic, was because of that.
What are your thoughts, Angie?
I'm going to say this. I think that the Lakers in the last couple of years, they've made some bad decisions, trade-wise, even drafting-wise, giving away draft picks for big names. And I think the Lakers have a responsibility to not just depend on LeBron. He is, without a doubt, one of the best players the NBA is ever going to see.
But what big names have been traded up?
I mean, in the last couple of years, we all that disastrous trade I'm going to give voice to is for Steve Nash and Dwight Howard when Kobe was still playing. It was a matter of bringing all of these titans together, hoping to bring back this great LA dynasty, and they failed because they forgot one important factor, that there can only be one leader. There can only be one cook in the kitchen. And they brought a lot of team leaders together, and Kobe wasn't ready to give up that mantle.
I disagree with one cook in the kitchen idea. That's like the one size fits all theory, and it doesn't work because if you look at Golden State,
but that is one cook in the kitchen. It's Steph's show.
I'm saying that there's only going to be one.
Chef Curry.
Chef Curry.
He's the only one.
Oh, I'm saying there can only be one leader.
He's the quiet dude who shuts up on the side and is open for the three.
I would give you Durant.
67 points in a quarter. He has the NBA record.
Okay,
I'm saying that there can only be one leader on a team. I'm talking about one true leader.
No.
I
one
agree
true
with
leader.
Because
yes, there are some of the Golden State Warriors are a prime example. It's a good example, but whose team is it really? At the core of the Golden State Warriors, whose team is that really? That is Steph. Yeah, he may have been MVP, but that is not his team.
But
he's coming into the kitchen real late at the second course of the meal. He's coming in with third course and dessert, putting the cherry on top of that already great
team. And
team.
without him, Golden State's not the same team. And
I'm not saying that they're not, but he is kind of the icing on the cake.
I disagree because of what happened when Kevin Durant went out. Steph Curry still lit it up, and they got into the playoffs with a really good record because Steph carried them the last end of the season.
That doesn't make him the ultimate one and only leader.
Dude, but he won the championship without Durant even being there.
No, but he still had Klay Thompson. He still had a team.
I'm not saying that it's not a team effort, but I'm saying the leader,
the best leader,
the leader of a team. I mean, like a good example, you're looking at Michael Jordan during the Bulls era. He was the leader of that team. I'm not saying that Dennis Rodman wasn't there or Scottie Pippen wasn't there, but he was the leader of that team.
But I don't think Steph Curry is a Michael Jordan leader. He's not a Kobe Bryant leader. He's not a LeBron James leader. He is not a one-man leader. I disagree. That's a
I
team
hope
leader.
Kevin Durant leaves next season so we can see.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I feel like the Golden State Warriors are the oddball out of my theory, but I feel like for a dynasty team, for the legacy that the Lakers like to portray, for any team in general, there's got to be one central leader. We've seen it time and time again when it comes to really great teams and getting there and leading. There's got to be someone, a defined focus, and the Lakers were lacking that with all these young players. They, like you were saying, they need a veteran to guide them and get them there because there's a lot of talent floating around but no direction.
And just to add to your point, when you watch Golden State play, in my own personal opinion, I mean, you guys can think differently, but I think when you watch Golden State play at their best, it's some of the most unselfish basketball I've seen. So therefore, if they're able to have multiple big pieces play, but ultimately, when the game's on the line and they're down by 2 and they want to take a 3-point shot, it's Steph Curry. You know, when they're down by 15 going into the fourth quarter, who are they battling behind? Steph Curry.
That one. But then when you go and watch the Rockets series, this is what makes me think that Steph is the true leader of the team. Because they picked on Steph the whole dang time. And then when the ball got distributed to KD, he got locked down for a while. Until they started getting Steph open again, that team would have lost to the Rockets. So Steph is the leader of the team. Now, I don't really think that he's a vocal leader necessarily because Steve Kerr really manages that team well.
Yeah.
Because if Draymond Green would technically be the leader of the team.
If it was based on mouthiness.
Yeah.
It was based on mouthiness.
Or cojones. Tell everybody on the team, I'm the best player in the world. And it's like, dude, you're on a team with KD and Steph. You can't talk about you being the best
I mean,
player.
we all saw the incident in the finals when Draymond Green got into it with, what's his name?
The dude from Cavaliers, right?
Yeah. Like in the last 2 seconds of that game.
Yeah.
God, what is his
Tristan
name?
Thompson?
Tristan Thompson,
Yeah.
thank you. Because I was thinking Klay Thompson. But yeah, Tristan Thompson. Like, you see them out there on the court, and what is Draymond's favorite thing to do? Talk shit. If we're going to talk about who's mouthiest, he is the mouthiest. But again, you got to have that player on there who is distracting and getting there.
I'll do you one better, though. Ready? Yeah. Remember this one? Lonzo Ball's dad.
I don't know, between him and Ron Artest or Meta World Peace who's playing with
Oh, he changed his name back. He is now Ron Artest.
No, he's not. He's on the Big 3 league. It still says World Peace on his jersey.
Oh, sweet
God.
Jesus.
I saw it.
Did you hear that Chad Ochocinco actually changed his name back to Johnson?
Yeah,
About time.
for flag football.
Yeah.
Well, that dude's a
And he
retard.
plays quarterback now, too.
What?
You're like, yeah, he was playing quarterback in the flag football game that I
Well,
watched.
that dude's an idiot. Like, okay, first of all, your number was 85. And you changed it to
Ochocinco?
Ochocinco means 85.
Oh, he's got 2 numbers.
Come on.
Oh, man.
Like he wasn't smart enough to know what 85 is in Spanish.
Yeah.
He didn't really look it up.
Here's your sign.
I mean, clearly he had no one. He had a lot of yes men, and no one to be like, bruh, that doesn't actually mean 85, but nice try. It sounds great. But we can't allow you to.
He didn't have anybody. It's not like there's a predominant amount of Hispanic players in the NFL. And then on top of it, then you're in Cincinnati of all places.
Oh, wait, now it's recording. Okay.
So picking back off where we left off.
All right.
Let's just
But
get on
I mean,
to-
by a show of hands, I mean clearly you guys are all for the Lakers. I mean, as well as the Raptors.
Oh, I'm for the Raptors. I'm not for Lakers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You're
You're
on
the
man out.
outcast.
Excuse me. You were the outlier of this group. But I mean, the Lakers are going to have an interesting season, and I feel like the Raptors in this last season have proven that they can get there, but they have got to close.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting through the regular season and dominating is all well and good.
And this is saying
Until you-
this is thinking Kawhi stays in Toronto. If Kawhi
Assuming, yes.
If Kawhi leaves Toronto,
Then it's
They're
this.
not
the
even-
window.
they're
All
not-
this conversation's over
Yeah.
anyway.
As of today, he's still in Toronto, so that's all we
because
can
they
go off
lost
of.
DeRozan for this Kawhi trade. So Kawhi goes to LA, and then there's Justin Butler from Minnesota who's trying to go to the Lakers and possibly Cleveland because Cleveland wants to pick up Butler to make LeBron look like he made a mistake. So now do the Lakers forget about Kawhi Leonard and acquire
Butler?
Justin Butler and like
Justin or Jimmy?
or Jimmy? Sorry,
Yeah.
Jimmy. Butler,
Jimmy.
Sorry, and they want like. They want Ball, they want Kuzma, they want everybody.
They're not
but it's
gonna get
Kawhi
that.
Lakers aren't
Jimmy
gonna give all
Butler is the most overhyped player
Yeah.
in basketball, in my opinion.
But
Well, we all know the NBA is selective.
Basketball.
No, Mike Trout's
The
the best
NBA is
athlete.
very selective about who they allow to go where because they love their super teams sometimes, not all the time.
It depends.
And we'll see how the trades go.
Chris Paul can come to LA. He just can't come to the Lakers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Thanks, owner.
Yeah. Well, that was the commissioner, wasn't it?
Commissioner.
He was like, oh, we can't have that much talent on one team, but you allowed.
But KD can leave.
Oh yeah, he can definitely lead to the Warriors.
Thanks,
The Lakers can't.
And did you realize that they had opened it up to like the salary caps even more that season, that specific season, and he just happened to become a free agent and could get onto a super team?
But you know what?
The NBA is notorious for that.
Not acquiring Chris Paul, CP3, I think that was a blessing in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise, but it was definitely it made a lot of people question what the NBA was doing and the amount of leeway or control that they have for their trades.
Griffin's still alive.
He's on Detroit. He does exist. I actually watched another YouTuber talk about him on a video recently.
Oh man!
And man, does this guy really break it down though? He like actually got into detail of like when he started his collapse, like when the play changed to basketball, that like basically he just didn't evolve with it.
That was supposed to be like a
And
Kobe
so-
Shaq era.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, CP3, I literally want to give him the nickname of the most hurt in the playoffs player. So like
Even over Derrick Rose?
In age.
Derrick Rose, man, that man is reluctantly injured. He just injured all the time.
Yeah,
he was born injured.
Regular season all the time. I'm talking about CP3 making it all the way through regular season, perfectly fine, and then goes into the last game when it's about to be crucial, when he can choke, and then just gets hurt.
And with that being said, I kind of grew up as a Laker fan, mainly because of you, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that was just the best feeling in the world, is seeing the Clipper fans come out of nowhere and then be like, oh, we're the best team in basketball, we're going to win the ship this year. Nope. Every single year. Same thing with the Chargers and football. It's just every
The
single
question
year.
is, where have y'all been? Is the question. Every time that happens, where were you?
And
Because
where are they now? Oh, they're going to fans now. Oh, okay.
Where's our Nick Foles fans at?
oh man! All right, to wrap all of this up, that was our squash debate. I mean, I don't know if it was really a debate, but there were some good points made. We are going to be moving on to the West Coast All-Star team from the Major League of Baseball. So, guys,
Can you explain this a little bit for...
Alright, so basically we're going to be picking, I almost said pitching, to picks. And yeah, that's wrong. We're taking picks of different players from the West teams, NL and AL West. There's going to be 2 pitchers, 2 starting pitchers, 1 closer, a catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, and 3 outfields.
shit, that should tell you how much baseball we're all watching.
We can't keep up with all these teams all the time. I'm a huge Diamondback fan, so it's going to be a little bit biased on my part, especially since I'm going to pick as my first pitcher, and I'm suggesting this to all of you as well, Zach Greinke as one of the best pitchers in baseball right now.
I can't debate that.
I don't know much about baseball, but I have questions on what's his injury, ratio, because I haven't watched a Diamondbacks game in a while, because that seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of
his
pitchers.
career, yes, you're right. But this year he's relatively healthy, so he's been pitching extremely well. Actually,
For a nice surprise, because when he was on the Dodgers for a while, he was always hurt, and that was always the most hyped thing, was him and Kershaw, and now that he's actually coming to his own in Arizona, I think he's blossomed into one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Well, his past 8 starts, he had a 1.3 second.
That's enough. I'll kind of take the next one. I'll leave one of the bigger names for you guys. And to me, one of my favorite pitchers in all of baseball is Patrick Corbin, another Diamondback. I don't know what it is about Corbin, but when I watch him pitch, it seems like he's always getting strikeouts. He's always burning through innings. He'll have a couple of games where he gets blown up. But as a number 2 in all of baseball, and the team, like, he's one of the best number 2s in all of baseball. Like, granted, I mean, you can make a case for other people, but for my money, Patrick Corbin for the win. Anthony, who you got?
I honestly don't know a whole lot about baseball as far as pitchers go, but based on this, what I'm looking at right here, we got Justin Verlander.
I can.
You know, and he's got 204 strikeouts, 2.19 ERA. I know the stats, I know what the acronym stand for, so that would be.
There we go.
So that would be my pick for baseball.
Even though his win total's down from a couple years ago, his whip is still low as ever as .88. I agree with you on this one. Justin Verlander would have actually been my pick if I wasn't being so biased.
And the thing about him is that like he easily brings 4 or 5 different wins per season just because he's on the field. You know, I mean, you put in any other pitcher, they're going to get a couple wins, but he alone brings wins to that team, which adds to why they're in first place in the division.
For me, honorable mention for Clayton Kershaw, just because it's something that stuck in my mind when I was watching the World Series with the Astros and the Dodgers. Something that kind of fell apart for the Dodgers was when he wasn't pitching. Like, they just couldn't seem... I mean, the relief pitchers just weren't seen to be connecting and getting those strikeouts. They were constantly just kind of not getting it there, and it was bringing the morale of the team down. And when you're watching one of the last games before the end of the World Series when the Astros took it, you just see the Dodgers are just defeated. Like, they just didn't want it. And I think that comes from a lot from when, you know, you got your guys on defense, you know, you guys aren't batting. Your pitcher is the one who's going to be out there, you know, saving that game or making sure that you guys are on the board or keeping the score down, and it just wasn't, they weren't completing. So I'm going to say Clayton Kershaw for that one.
And the biggest thing about Kershaw in my eyes is that he's, to be honest, he's probably the best pitcher since like the Koufax era or Nolan Ryan. You know, he's going to go down as one of those type of guys where instant Hall of Famer right now. If he starts, it's probably like a 9 out of 10 times he's going to win the game because he's starting. You put us as hitters, and we got a pretty good chance of winning the game just because he's going to get 0 or 1 runs allowed.
Very true. So moving on to catcher, I'm going to go with the Giant. I don't necessarily like the Giants, but Buster Posey. He's having a great season this year. 292 average, 37 RBIs and 5 home runs, but his defense has been a lot better this season. That's a lot of the success for their young pitching I put on Buster Posey. So I'm going to take him as my top catcher.
That's not a bad pick. To me, I like Yasmani Grandal from the Dodgers. He's a sleeper type of player when you got all those big names in LA. But he is a solid defensive catcher. He hits the ball pretty well. I don't see anything wrong at all with him behind the plate.
Anthony?
Sorry. I'm going to go with Gary Sanchez. That's my pick.
Okay.
All right. But for me, I'm going to have to jump in there with Jonathan LaCroix from the Rangers, Texas Rangers. I mean, he had some really bad injuries starting out with, but he's come up with a career high 24 homers from the Brewers and the Rangers last year. So.
It's hard to beat those guys right there.
Yeah. Well, first base, who you got on this one, David?
For me, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Dodgers on this one. And my first baseman is, of course, Cody Bellinger. Since coming onto the scene big time last year, he's been nothing but a superstar, young guy. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can produce. I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years if he's popping out 40 home runs in a year.
Well, I'm going to pick a guy who already hits 40 home runs in a year.
I left him for you. You're welcome.
Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks.
That's a
I had to pick a Diamondback for this one, especially the best Diamondback on the team. 24 home runs, 60 RBIs already in the season, and 274 average. You can't really.
And a threat to steal bases.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Something
He's
you
got 4
rarely
this
see
season.
anymore. You never see still bases anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, first baseman? No. I don't see first baseman still any bases. To get 4 in this season,
That's
way to go.
Yeah.
But his defense is actually not too bad either, and so that's kind of why I'm picking him. He's starting to get older, so. Oh. Diamondbacks, please.
Thank you. Thank you
Please.
so much.
Stay low. So I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman.
Solid.
He's got 184 home runs, 655 runners batted in. So I think he's a solid pick.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know much, but I'm losing here on my research because
You have to be quick on the phone right now.
I do. I don't know. I really don't know much about baseball.
It's tough.
I'm terrible. Like we have 5 teams in California, and I don't. Like just
That's fair.
to be fair, I mean California's a little saturated with all of our sports teams, but
It is getting tougher and tougher. With
to be
all
like,
these
oh, I'm a
stuff.
specific fan. Like,
Oh,
God,
man.
so many.
Is it bad that I'm kind of happy that we're losing a team?
Oh yeah, that's fair. We are.
I mean,
losing
it's
teams.
closer to... Leaving California makes the Raiders closer to us.
Yeah, that's true too.
So,
I can't complain about that one.
yeah.
I'm gonna pretty much. You guys good with that? Bouncing over to the next category.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't.
Are you sure? Are you
Yes.
sure, Angie?
Oh, I am positive because I am
Just
not. I'm not gonna have much to say about these guys.
This is more of a Jeremiah Locke kind of
Well, no, this is what
Yeah,
we're
and
used to
you're like,
doing
what?
going around a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
it's actually all right. He hasn't played as many games this year, but he's the best second baseman in the West. Robinson can know. Like, I'm still gonna pick him, even though he hasn't played every game this season.
He's not even the best second baseman in the division. With my pick, Jose Altuve.
Not too big.
Altuve is...
We all knew that one was coming.
He's a,
All two
he
things.
is a gosh damn thud. That guy is like as shorter than this table right now. I don't know if you can see this, but this table is about yay high. And he's batting in over 300 batting average. You know, he's a threat to hit home runs, a threat to steal bases. He is one of the best players in baseball.
There's no arguing that. I mean, just watching him again during the World Series last year, he was just out there just hungry for that title.
Yeah.
They
Wow. Rawr. I'm sad that I didn't pick this guy. I hope I.
Which guy?
Odor, from Texas.
I call-
was the guy.
Rugnid.
Odor.
Rugnet.
Rugnid.
Rugnid?
Rugnid Adore.
Roughneck.
Rugnid Odor.
okay.
Rugnid Odor.
Rugnid Odor.
Oh man,
That was rough. That came out bad.
that was a little rough. I mean, if we're
Defensively, I like this guy.
Yeah,
that
for
would have
sure.
been a runner-up. Basically, what I think was going to happen here is that this was going to slowly collapse in Minnesota, just the way that our country likes things. So,
I mean, no one's talked about Brian Dozier yet for second baseman.
Dozier's solid. That's actually a pretty good pick right there. I like Dozier a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the names that I actually do remember, so yay me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we didn't go Dodgers for that one, but it was one of those things watching him, like I'm going to keep going back to the few games that I've watched in the World Series, that's my reference right now. Watching him from the World Series, like he was out there just kind of holding the team together, like when they needed someone out there to get those catches, make those
key outs.
Thank you for that.
I'm just trying to guide along.
You really are, because
Who do you got for shortstop?
Oh man, yeah, that was a tough one for me already too. So I started thinking about like, all right, is there a
No, I think their best shortstop's like Ahmed, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
Nick Ahmed, or is he
I
a
believe-
third baseman?
Yeah, he's a shortstop,
Oh, okay.
Ahmed, but he's only got a 244 average. I
Yeah.
can't pick him. He's great defensively, but like if I was gonna pick a better defensive player in the West, it'd be Elvis Andrus from Texas.
Yeah.
He was always the best defensive shortstop
Well,
in the West. So
For the National League, which I'm going to stick away from the Dodgers for a minute. I already know he's better than who I'm going to say. But to talk defensively, I like Hamilton Simmons from the Angels. I think defensively, he's right there with what you're talking about. Is just echelon of defensive play.
Andrews has a little bit more leadership qualities that I like.
Oh, for sure.
But that's because of the guy's a little bit younger. That's the only.
Well, yeah, Andrews has been there since like the dawn of time.
Since the Rangers had 3 World Series appearances in the time that he's been there, so that's the only credibility I can really give to him.
That's something.
And he's normally pretty healthy most of the year.
True. Very true.
I'm going to jump in and go with Gene Segura from the Seattle Mariners.
That's solid. He used to be an Angel, and I can't believe they got rid of him. That he was actually the player that the Angels traded for Zach Greinke. They traded Segura for Zach Greinke for half of a season, and we saw how that turned out. And now Segura is one of the better shortstops in all of baseball.
And he's just out there making a name for himself in Seattle.
Absolutely.
Places.
I was going to look at Eltra's stats right now, so let me see.
Eltre.
That's the guy I would think that would be the best third baseman, but he's actually underperformed this season. So I can't pick him. That's tough.
I mean, I feel like at third base in the West, for my money, you got Arenado. Nolan Arenado is better to me than Manny Machado. That may be a hot take, but he's just solid. You know, he's a better defensive player. He's a better hitter. He's the guy in Colorado with him and Blackman.
Yeah, that's what I was actually looking at right now. I was going for him too, because it's like the Rockies third baseman. That guy was good. That guy was really good. I can't remember his name, but he was really good. And then I come over here and you start saying Rockies, and I was like, well done.
Yeah,
Nolan.
At least we're on the same page on that.
I know. Well, and it's not always the same thing all the time, as you guys have seen from previous videos.
So
if you, by now, if you haven't gone back and watched old West Coast Sports Debacles, do it. Just do it.
I mean, I'm going to jump in for an honorable mention for best ginger beard in the MLB period.
Ooh.
Justin Turner.
Yes.
True.
Fear the beard on that.
He's got one of the best beards in the league, but he's a great third baseman.
Absolutely. I don't know why they traded for bitch ass. What's his name? Machado.
I'm pretty sure bitch ass is not his name.
We're pretty sure.
Machado.
I mean, we're pretty sure.
There's no point for them to go get Machado when they got Justin Turner and Corey Seager on that side of the diamond. So it's not like you're going to put Machado at second base. So, bitch ass. Do you want to combine outfielders in just in the one position? Or?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, because there's... And if you want to, group designated hitters in there. Cause I don't really...
Well,
I don't consider them baseball.
To me, the outfield position. What is it?
Shots fired.
Are they the
Right? Like, just...
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, they don't play half the game.
They're people too, damn it.
You are offending a lot of Trout fans right now, just saying, like, he ain't out there doing no work.
Get your butt in the outfield. Come on. Come on. You're making millions of dollars. You can't go in the outfield and go pick the daisies like the kids do. Come on.
Hey, David Ortiz is going to get in the Hall of Fame, and he was basically...
Yeah, and that's the biggest joke about it, though, because he actually at least played first base half the time. Like, some of these guys now are just DHs. Like Nelson Cruz. Like,
do you know how hard it is to eat a bucket of chicken and drink a 40 during the game? You can't do it, man.
I know, but Babe Ruth did it all the time, man. He would do it
while chomping on a cigar. Don't
and pitch it. He would hit, and he would do the whole thing, and then
steal bases.
But
He's just out there doing a one-man.
He was more of a
team
man than
thing.
these people are today.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's no comparison to Babe Ruth and all these, like, man, this is so embarrassing.
So, are we in agreement that Mike Trout is just the best outfielder in all of baseball?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I can't really argue.
I mean, in my opinion, he's the best athlete in sports. But, I mean, that could be debated. But, I mean,
he's a hard-working man. We're not gonna... You know, he has worked for his paycheck.
Yeah.
His paycheck is well deserved. And to be fair, the Angels ain't got a lot going on for him right now. I mean, Trout is
thank you.
it.
That's what
holding that team together.
And
Called loyalty, damn it.
And I think that's where
That's how they selling jerseys. Like, what?
Yeah.
Have you seen another Angels jersey besides Trout? Oh, somebody?
no. But that's kind of the point to me, and I think that's what was being misconstrued last.
Wait, who is on the Angels besides Trout?
Pujols and
that guy that should be retired. That's right.
one of the best hitters of all time. Maybe you heard of him. But I think that was what was getting misconstrued last week when I was saying that. I wasn't saying Trout was bad or that the Angels don't deserve him or anything. It's just, do the guy a solid. Like, it's a crime to keep the best athlete in sports on a team that's not going to win a championship.
But to be fair, is he going to get a better paycheck from somebody and do half that work?
I feel like Here's what I'm thinking.
You asked him to put in a lot of work.
And then he was the fuck down after he got him.
That's
Are you
love.
talking to me?
Oh, did you say something?
This sounds like I am into sports.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
You guys
But-
lost me about 15 minutes ago.
Hey, that's why I'm with this hello.
Oh, man. But
Yeah, this has been a revolving door.
Yeah.
that's what we do here at Civic Studios. But to wrap all this up, I mean, West Coast Sports Debacle, we touched on just about every sport we have in California.
Basically. But hockey doesn't count.
I mean, we have 110
Only
degree
when you're talking
weather.
about
Someone out there
favorite
playing hockey that we don't know about.
Only when you're
And 110 degree weather, but everyone, remember to like, subscribe. Here, thank Jeremiah Hamilton having us
Thank
here.
you, Angie, for
You know.
running this thing today.
Thank you having me and Anthony here and in your and David's playground.
Whoa. That sounded a little personal.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize y'all don't have fun on this show. My bad.
No, we have fun.
You made it sound like we're having fun after the show.
Sounds like-
There's that going on.
Sounds like we need to come back more often.
Click right. I like to share in the
I
fun.
would-
She made me
hey.
feel real left out.
Like and subscribe so that they will come back. This show is way more entertaining with these two here. No offense, David. Me and you are just starting to get a little bland to the audience, I think. Either one of two things. Hey, one of two things happens. We either piss you all off, which is we're very good at.
Yeah.
Very, very good at. Like right now, we're dragging.
Oh,
You're
God.
dragging it out.
And-
Just
and
hit
two,
the subscribe button so he can stop talking, because that's also why
Just
he's doing
shut him
it.
up, please.
Just hit the subscribe button.
Can I watch your house, please? Please? Can I just watch your house? Cut it.